In the heart of ancient Egypt, where the Nile River flowed and the pyramids rose high into the desert sky, people believed in something greater than life, something eternal. They believed that when a pharaoh died, his soul didn't simply vanish. Instead, it began a sacred journey, one that led him to the stars, and not just any stars, but two that were never lost to the night. Two stars they called the Indestructibles. The ancient Egyptians gave this name to two stars in the northern sky, Kochab and Mizar. These stars belonged to the constellations we now call the Big Dipper and Little Dipper. But back then, they were far more than just twinkling lights. Unlike other stars that rose and set with the sun, these two stars never disappeared. They circled the North Pole endlessly, always visible. To the Egyptians, this was a sign. These stars were eternal. They could not die, they could not fade. They were indestructible, and so they believed that if a pharaoh's soul could reach them, he too would become eternal, living forever among the stars. When a king died in Egypt, death was not the end. It was the beginning of a long and sacred journey. Their religious texts, called the Pyramid Texts, describe this journey in detail. They believed the pharaoh's soul would rise from the tomb, leave the body, and travel up to the heavens. The goal, to join the Indestructibles. By becoming one with these stars, the pharaoh would become immortal. He would sit among the gods, ruling the sky just as he ruled the land. This was the dream of every pharaoh, to defeat death not through memory or statue, but through the stars themselves. This belief wasn't just a myth. It shaped the very land of Egypt. Look closely at the pyramids at Giza, Khufu, Khafra, and Menkaura. These weren't just tombs, they were star maps in stone. Each pyramid was carefully built to face north. The long, narrow passageways inside were angled upward, not randomly, but with precision. Because those passages pointed directly at the indestructible stars in the night sky. They were pathways guiding the pharaoh's soul straight to eternity. Even before the Giza pyramids, the ancient Egyptians were thinking about the stars. At Saqqara, the site of the step pyramid built for Pharaoh Djoser, archaeologists found something remarkable. Deep inside the tomb was a sealed chamber with a statue of the king. But there was one tiny hole in the stone wall, tilted at a very specific angle. That angle wasn't for sunlight. It was aimed directly at the northern sky, where the indestructible stars moved in circles. Even in death, Djoser's eyes were fixed on the stars. It was as if the Egyptians wanted to make sure that nothing, not even solid rock, could block the king's path to eternity. To us today, these beliefs may sound like legends, but to the ancient Egyptians, they were truths carved into stone, painted onto walls, and whispered into prayers. They looked at the sky and saw more than stars. They saw a future. The Indestructibles were not just symbols of heaven. They were a promise, a destination, a doorway to eternal life. In a world where everything else could break, fade, or be forgotten, these stars stood unchanging. And so they became the perfect place for the soul of a king. Even thousands of years later, the indestructible stars still shine in our sky. You can go out tonight and find them, circling the North Pole, just as they did in the time of the pharaohs. Next time you look up at those stars, remember this. To the ancient Egyptians, those lights were not just faraway suns. They were eternal thrones, waiting for the kings of Egypt to take their place among the heavens. If you enjoyed this journey into the stars and the secrets of the pyramids, give this video a like and subscribe for more ancient mysteries brought to light. Until next time, keep looking up.